Welcome, dear brothers and sisters, to our channel. The cross worn around the neck by an Orthodox Christian is the first and most visible sign of our faith. We know that we should never remove it, that it is our protection, and even the thought of being without it brings fear. Yet few know or understand where the tradition of wearing a cross comes from, why we wear it under our clothes, why we never take it off, and why it is so important for every Orthodox Christian. The earliest followers of Jesus Christ, after his death and resurrection, often carried a cross with them. It reminded them of Christ's suffering, and also helped them identify other Christians who were hiding from pagans. By the 3rd century, the most courageous believers even drew the figure of Christ on their foreheads. At a time of brutal persecution of Christians, this was considered a true act of martyrdom. After all, such a cross couldn't be hidden or removed, and only those ready to die for Christ would confess their faith so boldly. The question of how to wear the cross properly began to be considered in the early 4th century. Historical accounts tell us that Christian martyrs wore silver and gold crosses around their necks. When the persecution of Christians ended, believers continued to wear the cross on the same part of the body, around the neck. Among the Slavs, after the baptism of Rus, people were proud of their Orthodox faith and often wore their crosses openly over their clothes. They believed they had no reason to hide anymore and that everyone should know they were Christians. Only later did the Western custom of wearing the cross under the clothes spread to the Slavic peoples. To this day, only clergy continue to wear their crosses over their vestments. Over time, the cross became an inseparable part of Christian life and culture, holding deep meaning for every believer. The cross around our neck is a visible sign of our belonging to the Orthodox faith, of our personal confession of that faith, and a source of divine protection from visible and invisible enemies. Even in ancient times, the cross was revered as a true holy object. People would swear oaths upon it, exchange crosses as a sign of brotherhood, and even lay crosses as the foundation of their buildings. Saint Ignatius Bryanchaninov once said, "There is no other key that opens the gates of the kingdom of God except the cross of Christ." The cross is a symbol of salvation, of victory over death, and of God's love for humanity. It reminds us of the sacrifice of Jesus Christ, his suffering, death, and resurrection. A baptismal cross is placed around a person's neck at the moment of baptism, symbolizing that they have become a new member of the Church and have been born for the kingdom of heaven. The cross remains with a Christian throughout their life, and even after death, it goes with them into eternity. As the Holy Fathers say, a Christian without a cross is like a soldier without a weapon, and the enemy can easily defeat him. And this is true. It doesn't matter whether the cross is made of precious metal or simple wood. What matters is that, through God's grace, it drives away all evil. The cross is not a talisman, not jewelry, not a charm, but a visible sign of our faith, an instrument of salvation, and a shield of divine protection throughout our earthly life. That's why we wear it on our chest, close to our heart, and treasure it as a sacred and personal relic, and why we never take it off.